game was making money. And you really get into his head about it. It's not just being rich, it was being the smartest guy who could cut the biggest deal, and he was fabulously successful at it. And, the point being that the game is profit itself. And is there ever a point, if Marx's theory of alienation carries any water, and we have lost sight of, yes, sure, we want a house and a family and security and stability, but perhaps what Marx is suggesting and what Reich is just trying to finesse here is that there's never a point where you have just enough. There's never a point where you can say, okay, this is it. My salary is capped out at $75,000 a year. I don't need any more. I'm very happy with my house. I'm very happy with my kids. That in other words, as long as there are examples of people who have houses on every continent and can do whatever they want, that specter, the specter of supercapitalism is going to haunt us, to steal Marx's phrase from the Communist Manifesto, and take away our, what you called self-discipline, self-control? Personal responsibility. In other words, according to Marx, personal responsibility is out the window because capital has its own logic. And there's never enough. It's always go on, go on, go on. You have to increase your market. The rules of the game are expand or die. And that in some sense, that's what we struggle with as individuals, even if we aren't super wealthy. Even if we're just trying to survive. That there's no point where we reclaim quality instead of quantity. Does this make sense? That in other words, personal responsibility is almost impossible in this. In American, in this book, and according to Marx's view of economics, that there's never going to be a point at which we say enough.
Well, even the guys making $600 million, they're not like, I'm going to quit today. Like if somebody won the lottery and made that, they would never work a day in their life. But these guys make so much, and yet you don't see them not doing their job or taking an extended break or being like happy that they want more and more and more, even though they have so much.
And what if you win the lottery? What if has that Mega Millions thing been given away yet? Somebody won it?
3 great people.
So what happens to people when they get that kind of money all of a
The
sudden?
first thing they do is the one lady sued the other one for a ticket.
Yeah,
Because I think something like a friend went in to buy her sister or a friend or something, like she bought it for her and she picked her own numbers, but since she bought the ticket, now she's suing her friend for the half. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wait, so she didn't win, but her friend won?
But she bought the ticket?
She bought the
And
ticket.
gave it to her friend?
Sucks.
According to that story?
Yeah, or something. I don't know what it is, but it's something like that. Like she went in and she bought 2 or 3 tickets for people.
It's like a group, yeah, they all went in and then they all passed out the tickets and then one of the tickets won, so then she's mad that she didn't get one of those tickets.
Yeah, so she's suing or something.
Okay, well, look, so this, Marx, let's talk about the,
They always do, like, people win the lottery, always end up.
they don't end up happy and they don't end up.
Tragic
Yeah.
stories of the lotto winners.
Always, yeah.
There's a show on it. Yeah, they do Hollywood True Story or whatever.
I'm a lotto winner.
Yeah.
Okay, can we return before we run out of time to, I think, Jose's point, which is, can Reich finesse what Marx says is the logic of capitalism, which is it's all about quantity, and I think what I liked about that book, The Privileges, so much is that it really humanized. Whatever your chosen field is, you can never get too good at it, right? I mean, that's what keeps us in it, and I think that's what has been said on this table, which is that we're under the illusion that things are gonna get better, that if we work hard, somehow we will have material rewards for it. And with some things, I don't know, what do you like doing? Sports, music? Mountain biking. Okay, good. Are you ever gonna get good enough?
Yeah. I don't know. I
Thank
just
you for
do
that
it.
answer. Yes, in fact, I think I'm good enough right now. You know, is, I don't know, Shaun White, I name Tim Tebow, you know, are any of those guys ever gonna say, this is it, I can't get any better at this, I am so great that there's no room for improvement? You know, I mean, if they did that, they would stop doing it at all, right? I mean, the day you say that was the greatest run I am capable of in my life, is that what you do, runs? You go up to the top and you nearly kill yourself going down, is that what you like doing? Yes.
Or rollerblading.
Right,
I really, it's going back.
the moment at which you, it's a sad moment, you know, the moment that an athlete retires or a musician says, I will never play that as beautifully again.
But normally don't they retire like on their
Yeah.
Like, they didn't realize over there, I gotta peace out, I'm
Yeah,
done.
yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, and so then the question, you know, if that applies to money, there's never a point, I mean, at least the logic, I think, of capitalism, or Marxist capitalism, is there's never gonna be a point where the super rich are gonna say, well, really, we do have enough, and here, poor people, let me. Yeah.
There you go.
I'll tell you what, I got enough money, let me finance the healthcare plan.
It's fine, it's on me.
Yeah.
Responsibility.
And that brings it back to
you
the book, why shouldn't we have, why shouldn't everyone have Medicare? If the people that are on it are so happy, which they, by a great majority they are, everyone who's on Medicare, the great majority likes it, and we all pay into it, why is it an age thing? Why do people above 65 get to have Medicare and the rest of us don't?
Especially when most of the healthcare costs are in this last year, like,
Yeah.
they're probably getting more than they could be.
I'm sad we lost our only dissenting opinion because I have no one to
Yeah,
argue.
darn it.
Darn.
It's really important, they're both gone now.
With the healthcare?
Yeah, well, like Reich says, one of these
You're
things that
wrong.
he says that we should do is to extend Medicare to everyone.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, but I think you kind of have to revamp it. Like, the healthcare system, the last time it was really like changed or looked at was like 67 or something when they added the disability. That's 40 years ago. And there is so much fraud and just like, it's just become so big, and I think it's a great idea, and I think, yeah, we live in a country that is a modern country, everybody should have healthcare. But you can't have a system that's failing, because I think it kind of is.
But I mean, Medicare spends less money on overhead than any private system.
Oh, yeah, definitely on any private system, because the physicians and the healthcare is like the private ones, they jack up their prices on both ends to make money, because it's a private system. But I think, not necessarily Medicare, it's Medicaid that I think is more, they have more problems.
Did you read his?
I haven't finished the book, I simply didn't have time.
His like solution for just everything in general, I think is really good. And
Let's take a look
the
at it.
Medicare argument is really good. I mean,
I got like
you would-
halfway through it,
you
I
would-
haven't read the last couple
You would
chapters.
still have a choice of private or public, and I think the point is that a lot of people would end up just using Medicare because.
Now, a lot of conservative people will say it's not really a choice, because
Right.
everyone will pretty much end up in Medicare because it's cheaper.
It's one of
Because
those
it's better
things,
choice.
like, somebody says, oh, competition, like, they won't be able to compete against that public option. But then there are a lot of other examples where it does. Think of the postal service. There is still a nationally run postal service, but conveniently enough, UPS and FedEx are not out of business. They are doing fine. I
School
mean,
system.
there's still ways for
Yeah.
For sure.
private and public.
And I think
Right,
that,
I
I think it
agree,
would be a
yeah.
good thing, because if anything, it makes the private system better.
And it would
It
maybe
makes them,
streamline.
it makes them have competitors, and that's the point, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, his just, for personal knowledge, his, like,
No, it's like, I still think it's a good idea, I'm just saying the system that we have would work just fine, I just think it needs to be updated. Like, I don't think it, like, we've taken
I.
a good,
We-
like, a
we
really
have
good
we
look at
have
it and
a
just.
system where we think that we don't have any responsibility for anyone else, unless someone can convince us that it's worth it for us.
Personal gain.
Yeah, and, you know, who's gonna tell the rich that they owe the poor safety from terrible disease? You know, they'll go, why, what's in it for me? And Robert Reich would say, well, what are you gonna do with all that money? And, you know, if, in other words, well, I guess what I'm trying, the question I'm trying to raise is, do we have the ability to think beyond personal material gain as the only motivation or the main motivation that we have to do anything in life?
I think that we lost a lot of sense of community. Like, I think another thing that he doesn't point out, but what I noticed in the period where the economy was a lot more stable and the